This is video 266. Chris is working on the fourth former of the nose section of the Lancaster. Aid and Andy finishing off the structure of FN5 turret. John with the last part of the Wing Jig. Brad with repairs to David Brown tug tractor from the late 1940s. If you're watching these videos for the first time and are confused, please watch video 225 and then 227. These will explain what is going on. Thank you. Happy Holmes wanted to know how many aircraft did the Lancaster shoot down? Questions still being asked: how much of the original Lancaster will there be of the rear fuselage? I think only about 5%, 95% will be new material. Key rings and other items made from Just Jane NX611 Lancaster are available online and in the shop.
There you go now.
Yeah.
Original Avro plate, NX611, and the French identification plate, WU15.
Can you just move your head out of this way? Just going in the shadow of it. That's good. That's the French plate, and this one is the Avro plate.
Yeah.
And whereabouts did this come from?
It fits on the skin on the other side.
You've got some skins on the other side, have you?
No.
Oh.
This is what we're doing now. We're starting to sort them out, get them ready.
Yeah.
So I'm going to drill the rivets out and take these plates off.
Yeah. Good.
So we can relocate them when the time comes.
It's a bit further on with all the skins painted and skimping back onto the frame. Skins here. On video 264, I asked the question about skins being cut short on the fuselage and not going up to former 35, as the skins below do. The lads were not sure of the reason. They were working to the Avro drawing. I received a comment from Simon Grote, which seems quite logical. I think the short skins are there so there is no skin joint underneath the tailplane leading edge interface to the fuselage. If you look at the image on 8.09, the skin joint would sit under the leading edge of the tailplane, which would lead to an high stress point. So to reduce this longitudinal joint was moved, shortening the skin and adding a larger vertical piece. It's very logical, that is, Simon. Thank you. Former 35 is where the tailplane fits into the fuselage and held with 4 bolts. The first part of the horizontal jig is exactly where the tailplane fits. Still got these two gusset plates to fit on at the top and bottom of Phil's door frame. Still bits and pieces to be done here. And the repair over there still has to be done. And what are you up to, Chris?
I've got to make another one of them.
What is that? Is that
intercostal?
Intercostal.
It's just forward of the escape hatch. So I've got to make a new one of these. Well, I've got to make two new ones.
Oh,
of
I
these.
see. The bottom escape hatch, is it?
Yeah, it's the front, the forward bit. Here. Sits
Oh,
there.
it's.
A new one of them. New one of these. Once I've done them two, then I've got to take these big long ones out and then do 2 new ones of them. That's the plan. So, yes, I've took that one out. So make a new one. And same with
Which
that.
one are you making the?
Yeah. So it's basically all the other hand to that.
There,
Yeah. So new one of those. same with that, and these ones.
Did you get your fourth former completed and painted?
It's not painted, it's done.
Oh, it's done,
It's
yeah.
what this thing. Yeah, so it's done. It just needs painted.
It's a good job again.
Yeah. Getting there, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that done. Gerald's finished his bracket. So that's the pump, the what's then pump for the de-icer. So Gerald's finished it now, he's riveted it all up. So he's done a good job, hasn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
It's alright.
Very good job. Yeah.
Yeah. So that needs painting. I've just finished making all the brackets. The amount of brackets in here. So you've got brackets here, you've got brackets here. You've got a bracket underneath and a bracket on top. So you can imagine all these different brackets, instead of them just being like an L-shaped bracket, they've all got different facing angles on them and all kinds of stuff. So when I looked at the drawing, when I looked at the original drawings for the folders, some of it's quite easy to read. So it tells you where the brackets go,
Yeah.
and what part number it is, and it gives you details here of what they are. But when I took that one apart, some of the brackets that I took off were for the wrong, they weren't the correct part number. So when it was manufactured, when it should have had a 4D 1716 bracket in it, had an 8D 716. So I'm going, hang on a minute, what's going on here? You know what I mean?
What was that? Were they making
When it
use
was
of what they've got?
When it was manufactured, yes, so I was going off what was fitted.
Yeah.
And it was conflicting what the drawing was saying. So then I had to scrub them all out, because if you look at all them brackets, that's how they all lay out. And they've all, some of them, you know, you look at that one compared to that, and then that one's different again. So I had to make all these brackets and get all the right angles on, you know, the cut back angles on them. So I've just finished those now, so what I'm doing with this, I'm going to cut the metal out, sandwich it like I did with the others, you know, with the formers, and then I'm going to get Gerald to do it.
Yeah.
So Gerald's going to save it for Gerald, and he's going to have a go at it.
Yeah.
And he comes in on Monday. Yeah. And said Red Wine Dave will be back. If he gets stuck.
Yeah. Why aren't you here Monday?
I'm going to Arnhem on Monday.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, for the market garden.
Yeah, 4 or 5 of them going from here, aren't
Yeah,
there?
that's it, yeah. So going on Monday. Take Jerves's Jeep.
Yeah.
Drive to Hull, ferry overnight.
Yeah.
Next morning, off to Oosterbeek.
Yeah. Is it far from the ferry?
In a car, it's probably not far from a ferry. It's probably an hour and a half's drive, maybe, if that hour's drive. But in a 40-mile-an-hour Jeep, it's like 2.5 hours. You know what I mean? So you're like Humphrey Bogart going down the road with steering wheel, aren't you? You know what I mean? But yeah, should be good.
You'll get a good cheer as you go past anyway.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Right. And Terry was making all the noise then when we was filming. We'll see if he's got these off yet.
Got one off.
Still looks in a very sick state, Tim Brad.
Sorry, Ed?
I say it looks in a very sick state, the engine.
Yeah. Well, the engine.
How you getting?
The engine looks all right.
Oh, you got that sorted, have you now?
Well, it's mocked up together just to get some. I had to make a pipe. I had to make this fuel pipe, so I had to put everything on to make the pipe. So it's all just tacked on, but looks all right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not finished yet.
No.
I'll get the crank back on Friday. That's been ground. But when it was all together like this, I looked at it and thought, I can't possibly put that back into that scabby old frame. So took the frame off. This is the frame that the engine sits in. So paint stripped that and repainted it, and I'll do the bottom once this top's dried. But this is the most hilarious thing, is all this frame does is carry the radiator.
Yeah.
And it's made out of cast iron, and it's as heavy as you like, and it's just hilarious. It's hilarious how heavy it is.
Yeah.
And all it does is hold the radiator on, and it's just brilliant.
Yeah.
But it's in.
So this is the bottom of the crankcase then?
It's sort of the middle, yeah, because the sump goes on
There,
the bottom.
yeah.
But this attaches to the gearbox casing, or
Yeah.
flywheel casing, and just hangs off the front of that, and then you put the engine in there. So the engine isn't complete until it's in the tractor, as it were.
No.
And the crank actually sits, obviously.
So you have to put this in onto the gearbox first.
This
here.
has to be fitted first, yeah, and then you lower the engine down into it.
Yeah.
But the crank sits. You see, this is the bottom of the crankcase for the engine,
Yeah.
and the crank sits halfway down it, and then that's the bottom of that casing. So the rest of it is all inside. It's all integral to the frame.
So will you have to put the white metal bearings
Yeah.
on after it's in there?
No, it all go. You assemble it with the crank and everything in here,
Yeah.
and then drop the whole assembly in.
I see. So
But
yeah.
what I'm going to do, because we've not got the right lifting eye for this, is I'm going to put the crank in and the pistons, and then just put the crankcase on, and then start building the engine up
Yeah.
around it. But they actually, they said this is just hilariously heavy. They sent this away for servicing.
What's that? The dipstick?
Yeah. And then the
Looks
clutch.
like a new unit.
Well, the clutch is new,
Yeah.
and it's all the torque converter was overhauled.
The torque converter, does that save the clutch, right?
Yeah, well, it's known as and David Brown referred to it as a turbo transmitter.
Oh, really?
It's a torque converter in all.
Yeah.
It's a fluid flywheel.
Yeah. Does it got to throw out pads or something then to grip it or what?
Well, I did actually read how it worked, and it baffled me. So it's all done on fluid.
Yeah.
It's all done on fluid. Apart from that, I've got no idea.
It's a nice
More
unit.
complicated than a Merlin boost control unit. This thing is. But yeah, it's nice, and they've made a nice job of overhauling the various components.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, to get the engine out, you have to take all of this apart as well, because the crank bolts directly to that. Yeah. So you drop the engine in, and then this slides, and you can attach it.
It's a good unit, isn't it?
It's built to last, isn't it?
Yeah.
But even the casings they're hilariously heavy. It's all cast iron. When we used to make stuff proper. Sits like that in the frame. As you can see, it's
Yeah. So what is it, a bush then in there or what?
no, it's just
Will you have to put a bush in then or what?
I'm in two minds whether to get this bushed and leave it at that, or to take the one off the other tractor, the immobile tractor.
Yeah.
I think at the moment I'm not sure what to do. I might get this bushed because it's not a tight fit. That's the original size.
Yeah.
It's not apparently a tight fit.
It looks like it was steel onto steel.
It is, yeah. So
Still,
I've not decided what to do yet.
No.
To get the one off the other tractor is a lot of work, whereas bushing this is.
Yeah. What would you, steel bush it again, or would you put a...
Well, I spoke to Tony about it, electrician Tony, and yeah, we were of the opinion that we'd just do a steel
bush in, yeah.
It doesn't need to be anything hard. It's not actually loading anything, because of the way I understand it, if you put the crankcase lower things on, it comes to here and picks up on that. This sits here.
Yeah.
This sits on the bottom of that unit.
Just allows it to swing about then, does it?
It allows it to not move too far,
Yeah.
because it's obviously going to move a little bit, and I think
Yeah.
if it moved a lot, it'd obviously crack.
Yeah. Yeah. Guess it would, yeah.
So I assume it's just to stop it going too far. But because this was loose,
It's
it was allowing it to...
really moving.
Yeah.
You can see which way it's been moving as well,
Yeah.
can't you?
So it was kind of... The decision to take that off and repaint it has actually been a good one because we found that. Because we would never have found that otherwise.
Yeah. Good. Right.
And
Thanks.
that piece really is like half of England actually. It's so heavy.
Morning, Dan. Andy.
How are you doing?
Looking smart job now. Is it nearly complete?
Nearly complete to the point where we are nearly work stop.
Yeah.
We're just waiting to treat that magnesium alloy ring that we showed you before, the geared ring,
Oh, no.
and then before we're going to build it up after that. So that's kind of the next step. So yeah, so hopefully it's looking a lot different to last time we saw it.
It's looking good.
There's a lot more on it now.
Yeah.
So yeah, just doing a final few bits of tweaking, and then we'll be waiting for that ring to be treated, and then we'll carry on. Not far off work stop, and then after that, obviously, it's waiting for the components.
Did they have a seat on this one as well?
They did have a seat, yes, which we're not going to fit yet until we put the rings on, just to keep access as it is easy for us. So the seat is on the rack.
It's a smart job.
This is the seat
that's the
that
seat,
it has.
is it?
Yeah, and it was it rotated out of the way for access.
Yeah.
And then it swung down to allow us to sit on it, and then swung back out
So
of the way.
that fits on in there,
Yeah, and it will swing down to allow us to sit on it.
So it fits in these holes there, or does it fit in those?
In the slots there, those cutout slots there align with those those there, so it kind of sits there from the bottom up, obviously. But say we're not going to fit
Have
this
they
yet.
got much adjustment for height? For tall.
I'm not sure. Was there any height adjustment on this, or was it? There was height adjustment through these slots.
Yeah, it was, but I don't think it wasn't. It's not like a car.
No.
You know, you could do it when you had it set.
Yeah.
Basically, where you wanted it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could go.
A comment from Happy Homes. He wants to know how many aircraft did the Lancaster shoot down? 320 in aerial combat. I got this information from Caliban Rising, a channel off the net.
You kill more rolls?
Is that a magnetic device?
Yeah.
That looks boring.
Especially if we cut through steel.
And it's like a reamer, so you get a reamered hole, do you? A really clean hole.
Oh yeah. Because it's not like a normal drill. It's a cylindrical drill.
Yeah.
So you have a little plug left over in the end, which is ejected out of it. So it's not actually drilling a hole; it's drilling the circle,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a milling machine, sort of thing. Yeah. And so those holes, you could say within 3 or 4th hour the diameter you wanted. Where an ordinary drill, it could be quite a bit.
Yeah. They're 18 mil. That's it.
Oh, I see. It's all the yeah. So instead of that dropped out, yeah. Yeah, and they're the cutting edges instead of the flutes.
Yeah. Not through butter.
Yeah.
That's a knife, and the steel's the butter. Yeah, this machine here, will sit on top of there, and you introduce a piece of metal in.
Yeah, I know.
And
That's what it is.
yeah, roll bender, top roll.
And is this for doing like angled aluminium?
No, this is for bits like this. Where you've got a curve in it.
Yeah.
You've got C-section of metal, but you've got a curve in it. You make the rollers and that, and it actually forms a curve in it without distorting the ends.
So we're thinking we can do it with these stringers, because he's got curved stringers on there. So you get the stringing material and get the right formers,
Yeah.
you should be able to run it through there and curve, the stringer.
Put a curve in it.
Is it push through? Is it electric or what?
It's manual.
Manual. All the different formers going behind here. You can fit the different size and shape or whatever you want, but this bit comes off and then you just roll it through, spin it through, and you just wherever you set your thing, you'll get they'll get the right bend.
So you form your U-shaped metal first in a straight piece,
Yeah,
and then you feed it through here to give it the curve.
yeah.
Hey, we're getting some gear now, aren't we?
All the gear and no idea.
With 2 plates, so it'll be adjustable, just a bit like these.
I see, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
I see,
be
yeah.
able to adjust them.
Yeah. Because, I mean, when you adjust it, it'll only want to be a kind of a touch fit, won't it?
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise you'll
Yeah,
distort
that's
the
all it
spars.
is. That's the whole idea, is to keep the spar straight.
Yeah.
It needs to be slightly adjustable. Yeah, so I've made all the bits up, I'm doing all the holes, and hopefully next week it'll be welded up and fitted.
Oh, good.
But I won't be
Oh,
here.
you won't be already on them, are you?
Yes,
Yeah.
on the Great Adventure.
Would that machine do this angle at the end? Put a bend on it?
Not so sure about that, that's quite beefy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not much of a shape though, is it?
It's enough.
Well, yeah.
If you had a straight bit and you're trying to bend it to the curvature.
Yeah. You might have to have those made out of house then.
Because when you bend an angle, you see, so you bend that, it's easy bending that bit, but that bit there, because if you bend it that way, then you're trying to shrink that. You bend it the other way, you're trying to stretch it, and it tends to distort. That's why you have the formers in there to
hold them,
to hold it all, to keep it like that. But that is.
Yeah, and there's only, what, 2 to do, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's only more. No.
I couldn't get it off because we've got to take it off. I couldn't retrieve it. It's there. Yeah. You'll need a full set of steps to get it off.
Basically, it'll sit like that with a screw plate on there, and then cross this.
Wide.
Across this forward.
Don't even try and get back. So just drill the heads off the screw.
These are flange rings Jacob made. You can operate it as close as that at the top, can you?
Hey?
You can operate it as close as that at the top.
Well, you've got no choice. And then at the end of the beam, of course, the wing, the top of the wing, leans this way.
Yeah.
It's like when you work on it and you put a set of steps and you're going up and you go, oh!
Yeah.
You have to put the steps further out than you think.
Yeah.
Further up
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah, I never thought of that. Yeah. And there is quite about a foot gap, isn't there, between the top and bottom overhang. Also, questions on the B25. Will this fly? When it first came to his kit bay, I asked Andrew the same question. Hopefully, yes, in the future. The engineers are working on it as it will fly, using CAA guidelines and keeping a log of what they have done and what needs to be done, looked over by the Chief Engineer Bob. At the moment there's only Terry working on it. Aid and Andy will resume work on it when they have completed the FN5 turret for Just Jane NX611. Keyrings and other items made from Just Jane NX611 Lancaster are available online and in the shop.
Right, these are the key rings.
Oh, they're the keyrings there.
Yeah, got original rivet hole there, and then that's obviously inside of it. And then they get NX611 engraved on them. That's it.
And we've got an engraver.
Liz is that's Liz's job. I make them. Liz is the engraver. She's got better handwriting than me. So.
Yeah.
And then there's some
what
more.
are these?
Yeah.
Not are these, the bigger one.
Yeah, these are the actual bits of skin that get properly framed and everything, and a certificate with them to say that they're off Just Jane.
And you can buy all these in
the shop or online as well, yeah. But these are particularly selling very well at the moment.
I'll put a link to the online shop of Lincolnshire Aviation Heritage Centre in the description column. These can be bought in the shop and online. I asked Dave if he could help me with my camera audio setup. Right, this is the one I made, which I had onto the Triumph monopod, the camera and then the sound system. Now Dave's got me one and it's part of Just Jane's doorway, is that right?
That's correct, yeah, the rear door frame,
He's just going to sign it, Red Wine Dave, and put his signature on it. And the date.
What we're on, 17th, isn't it? There we go.
It's lovely. And that'll hold my sound, turn it over that way, that'll hold my sound system on there and my camera will fit in this hole here. And that's part of, genuine part of Just Jane. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And probably outlast your camera as well.
And this, it looks though they joined these two pieces, because this was believed to be the inner side of the doorway.
Yeah.
So that they joined, riveted the two together and then sprayed them afterwards.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what it looks like, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good, where's your signature?
Yeah.
Up there.
Just see it.
Yeah.
Lovely.
That's great. Right, thanks Dave. We'll treasure that. It'll be on eBay next week.
You're right, alright,
We're on BBC.
Aye. Right then. This fella's been busting my springs for ages on my formers, because they're all shapes. We've just swapped a bit for hold his mic onto his camera, using a little bit of Just Jane. That's what he had fitted before. Now this is Nev's workmanship. Can you see that? Look at all them holes. Looks like it's been shot at.
Well, I did make a mistake once or twice.
And you got the audacity to criticise my formers. I'll tell you what.
Hey,
Straight to scrap that's going. Scrap.
Thank you, Chris.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Glad to be of assistance.
And